want the fans out of their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get them, momentum on our side. And then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball, we got to be dogs.
Out of control, the bravery to go in front of the home supporter.
Hey, we're live, everyone. Welcome to the Afterburn Soccer Show. My name is Nathan. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer. And with me right now is our good buddy Chris at Cwintus on X or wherever. But hey, and Jose said he'll be a couple minutes late, so we'll be having him join us here in just a moment. But good to have you on, Chris. Good to see those folks who are going to be joining us live to bring your comments, your questions here on YouTube. And yeah, it's basically Sam Sarver season. I don't know how else to describe it, but what a turn of events. Of course, we'll talk about FC Dallas. We'll talk about North Texas. We'll start with FC Dallas, but you had the disappointing loss at home to Vancouver, one where I think it was a bit of a harsh result for FC Dallas, and yet it's kind of been par for the course at home against a very, very good team who looked like a very, very good team in Vancouver. So you lose that one, you feel a little bit down, and then they turn things around against San Jose, find the late stunner from Sam Sarver, and come away with all 3 points against another one of the top teams in the MLS Western Conference, one of the hottest teams so far this season. And it wasn't just Petar Musa's goal. It wasn't just Petrickson Delgado's goal. It wasn't just Sam Sarver's heroics there at the end. It was also, oh, here comes Jose right now. It wasn't just those goals, but it was also Sam Sarver scuba diving and then drinking a beer in front of the opposing team's fans and just enjoying the moment. And that kind of personality, it's funny because I think in the professional world of sports, coaches don't necessarily want the personality from their players because it can be a liability. It can be a distraction. And yet you see the eyes that Sam Sarver went viral across so many platforms, so many venues. Modelo sent him a bunch of cases of beer to enjoy, to share with his teammates. Just quite a moment, the kind of thing that marketing departments love to build around. So welcome to the show. Let's get right into it. Again, up and down week. FC Dallas did not get the home win against Vancouver. Unfortunately, fell short on that home loss, a disappointment. And yet they go on the road and they turned it around and find the big win at San Jose. Chris, since you joined first, let's just start with you. Your thoughts on the week for FC Dallas.
Yeah, I think, when we were going over predictions last week, Vancouver was the one that I think that I was worried about more. And then I think after the game, I ended up being a little bit more surprised because I feel like that was one of those games that I thought played well. It was disappointed for the fact that it was a loss because of the fact that although Vancouver had more shots on goal, because of a kind of a fluke performance from Collodi, you end up losing a game, and Dallas had the XG of 1.35 over Vancouver's, and I apologize for all my millennials out there, is 0.67 XG. So, I mean, Dallas just had the bigger chances, and it just felt like it was one of those games that Collodi lets in those two, and you're like, man, that was a huge missed opportunity. But then you switch gears and you go to San Jose, and things are kind of, all good again. Sam Sarver has the incredible late game equalizer, the viral celebration, and uh, I thought it was a great game all around. Truthfully, um, Delgado, with the opening goal in less than a minute, that was awesome to see. I thought he had a fairly solid game. Johansson, I think, has been kind of trying to get his feet underneath him. I thought he had a pretty solid game as well. Sarah with the PK save, which is huge in the scoreline. It's unfortunate for Collodi, but one little tidbit I did like after the game that, Sarah was basically crediting the staff and Collodi and said, hey, like, these guys have been hyping me up for the game, coming ready, help me get ready for that save. Yeah, there you go, right there.
Big moment, big time moment. As Jonathan Sarah made his first start for FC Dallas. Yeah, I mean, that was the storyline. We'll come back to that perhaps, but we didn't think there'd be a goalkeeping battle. Although when they brought in Sarah, definitely bring in a guy with a lot of MLS experience, and so you knew that was going to at least be a security blanket for the team if things went south. But yeah, I mean, that midweek game was not Michael Collodi's best moment, and kind of just wonder, how he's, or what this means going forward, but we'll talk about that. But Jose, go ahead and get your reactions to this roller coaster week for FC Dallas. Oh, we got no audio on you. You have mute. There you go.
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. I'm old. So no, I'm satisfied with this week. I mean, yes, you have to be upset that you lost at home to Vancouver. Just that you lost at home. Period. The opponent stature is irrelevant. You should win at home. You shouldn't be dropping points at home. And so that was a tough loss to take. It's in the past, I would have taken that as a moral victory, and I think we can see that this team is way past moral victories now. It's starting to do things that we haven't seen a team do in a while. I mean, you're talking about going back to New York Red Bulls. You beat them in their home after more than a decade of not having beaten them, and then you go and do that again, this time to San Jose. That's telling you right there that this team is on the right path. It's doing things that we haven't seen an FC Dallas team do in a while. And my big takeaway from this is, yes, it sucks to lose to Vancouver. You come back, you beat San Jose. Those are the top two teams in the West. Two teams that were, in fact, running away with the West. And you trip one of them up. And I think you look at the standings, fifth place. God, that just sounds right. I think that's where this team is going to be for the remainder of the season. I think they're going to be maybe up a few, down a few, but I think they're going to be. We're seeing that this team is a legit playoff team, and I think the victory at San Jose. Now you got to say, hey, that's a real contender you just defeated. You went toe to toe with Vancouver, another contender. You went toe to toe with LAFC, another contender. You fully rotated against Seattle, and still were in that game. So I think this week solidified FC Dallas as a dark horse contender. Yes, not a favorite, but a team that with the right matchups could make noise. Then you know who the wrong matchups are. So yes, I'm very happy. I'm very satisfied with everything that I saw, and I'm getting carried away. So you guys,
it's good. I mean, and I think with Musa's form, you can't ask for more. He gets another goal on the season. He's up there. He's in contention for Golden Boot. I know Chicago's got their guy. It could be that kind of race, depending on who continues to maintain form and keeps this streak alive. And of course, who knows what happens after the World Cup as far as player movement and player sales and things. But let's just not talk about that. I don't want to talk about that yet. Musa, it's just such a delight to have a guy who just wants to score, wants to bang in goals, and can do it. And then the gift to have depth. And, this is definitely a game where it seems like Quill pulled the right strings as far as depth pieces, as roster moves, as substitutions, as the game wore on, and got guys who came in with the right mentality. I think there's been a couple of games where it's taken a minute for the guys to come in and meet the pace and the physicality, and it has shown for FC Dallas. But in this one, the guys came in with the right mentality right away to keep the pressure on San Jose. And then just to find the chaos. And, Sam Sarver is the story. I mean, I just think it's just the story of this season so far. Surely a lot of stories of this season. I mean, I think we'll look back while we're talking about it. But I love this video that FC Dallas put out on their social media today. I'm just going to play it here just for a couple minutes of the Sam Sarver experience.
Comes off again!
I honestly blacked out a little bit. That's comparisons like the thief of joy.
Sam Sarver to seal it. It's a first MLS goal for the firecracker off the bench for Eric Quill. Go! Come on! Yeah! Play on, baby! Come on!
Dude. Chief Keef, please, Chief Keef. The GOAT of rap. Well, I think it's super important because, one thing I'll never do is change, who I am, and that's a part of who I am.
Sarver into the crowd to celebrate what will be 3 points.
3-1, game's a bet, night, Spanish conquistador named Hernan Cortez. When he arrived in Mexico with his troops, they were outnumbered.
There it is. There's the hole. There's the kick. It's away. It's good. It's good.
Hey, clip it. Oh my God. That's got to be a clip.
Goal on Sam Sarver. Goal. Where are you?
Good stuff. I mean, the Sam Sarver experience, we've been a fan for a while on this. We've gotten the chance, Chris and I have gotten the chance to chat with Sam after many a North Texas performance. He is a character. He is a force. There's so many levels to this story, but you can't help but root for him. And I guess the question still is just, I mean, and maybe it's not a question for some folks. It's just maybe Sarver is at his level, which means he is going to be just a roster piece, but a dynamic one who can change the game late in this, for Major League Soccer teams. But if he keeps playing like this, he's going to get more starts. I mean, it's just, how do you bench a guy who brings this to the team and stuff? So, are you all wondering that question with me about sort of the valuation of Sarver for this team? Is this his role? Or is he just playing himself into a bigger conversation somewhere down the line? Jose, what do you think? Oh, you're muted again, buddy.
I think this is his role for this year, and that's fine. I mean, establish your role, establish yourself as a guy you can count on coming off the bench, as a guy that can run at people, and has proven he can make the most of the few opportunities that he gets. So absolutely, you keep him on there, and maybe you bring him in earlier, but his strength is his speed and his freshness, and I'm not sure he's ready to do that for, say, a full match. The goals that he's scoring late in the game, there's not a lot of teams that can recover from that. If you start him and he scores early, teams have plenty of time to recover from that. So yeah, no, I say this year, don't worry about it. That's going to be his role. Uh, Super sub that other teams have to learn to respect and game plan for. Yeah, let other people start and keep having them running at people late. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Totally agree on that. I think just his role is so perfect because you have a guy like Musa who's up top, commands so much attention from the defense, kind of wears on you because he's just such a big physical striker. And then off the bench, if Farrington joins, but then you also get a guy like Sarver who's just so quick and can beat you with his speed. It's like after 75 plus minutes of trying to battle with a guy like Musa, then you have to now switch gears completely and then completely focus on Sarver like that. Oh man, that sounds awful. I'm tired just thinking about it. So, and I think another thing too that, I appreciate the chemistry that him and Farrington are building up because, I think truthfully, Farrington will be the future. And hopefully for us, he continues to develop to be the striker that he is. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't ever want to talk about the Musa conversation, and so we won't. But there is a conversation to be had after that happens, right? And that's when I think we'll look to be like, okay, Sarver, what's your role after this? Are you capable of taking on more of a load maybe as a striker or a wing type player? Do you continue to develop as a wing back? It'll obviously depend on what Quill wants to do with his formation, but if we stick with the back four, I could see him getting a lot more runs kind of potentially out wide in the midfield. And hopefully I would love to see him up top because he's just so quick. Put him up there with a dual striker with Farrington. But yeah, for now, it's great off the bench. Super, brings so much energy to the team. And obviously he went completely viral. You love to see that for your team.
Our buddy Horse God there, due to the Sarver beer consumption impacting his fitness, he's going to be a 15-minute game, every game sub, which is, he posted on Instagram his fridge full of Modelo's. I mean, he's got to have the boys over at some point to thank them. But yeah, I mean, I like it. You're right. It doesn't fit. I mean, I'm sure, he's going to get some starts here and there just because you need to rotate guys and you'll look for those opportunities. But it's such a force. And of course, is he going to be a super sub in every game? Well, no, some games they're going to be locking down a lead. And, Sam Sarver may not be the world-class defender that you need to go in. And so that's kind of disappointing because I know he wants to go out there and bang in some goals. But to get 3 goals so far this season from the guy, he can definitely score at this level. It's just a big win. It's so nice to have a striker you can turn to off the bench who can make something happen and who just wants. I love about his goal in this one against San Jose was just that he had the awareness, he had the positioning, just to stay up high, to want the ball, and the confidence to go and take care of things. Credit to him. What joy, and we're just living in his world right now. We just get the joy of watching it and participating in it. So yeah, he has room to grow.
I want to talk about something since Chris kind of brought it up, and I don't want to tiptoe around it. And that is, Musa. Congratulations. He's going to be on a Croatian national team. And with that, he is 1 foot out the door. We know it. Everybody knows it. So that doesn't mean he will leave us this year, but it means that sign is there. Of all the players that can increase his stock the most during the World Cup, it's him. So yeah. So now that we've admitted to that, and congratulations on him doing Croatian national team, the question is, FC Dallas has switched to a 4-4-2. That's 2 strikers you need up top. We know you got Musa, you got Farrington, and Moreno has been playing also there. So the question is, who's the 4th guy? We really need Julio to come back to be that other. That is until Quill went ahead and started, of all people, Delgado.
Delgado, yeah.
And before we could even say, what the hell is he thinking, Delgado scores. I mean, and just, I mean, I usually get to, bitch and moan about that guy before he does something spectacular. I didn't even get that chance. I basically was like, okay, great move. I'll shut up. But I think you just saw the last nail in Julio's coffin right there with Delgado showing that he can play that off striker role. And by the way, having his best performance in forever as a whole. If you look at all his stats, that guy had a great game for a guy that's basically playing that position for the first time. Not to say he hasn't, seen action as an off striker, but to start there and be there for the entire match. Wow. I'm very happy for that guy. Like I said, he becomes your fourth striker. You need four strikers, and he makes Julio expendable. So I'm sorry. I mean, I think we all knew Julio was going to be out the door, but just wanted to point that out. We're all worried about Musa leaving, but Julio is probably the other guy that's leaving, the most likely of the strikers to go. And I just wanted to point that out. And also, shout out to my man Kaique. Congratulations to him and Ramiro, who, by the way, since Dallas switched to the 4-4-2 4 games ago, 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 Vancouver, and Kaique and Ramiro started every one of those matches. So there you go. That's your starting midfield right there. And anybody else that's playing midfield is either coming in, to sub in for them, or is playing left mid or right mid. Because Kaique and Ramiro right now, impressive. That's the most impressive run we've seen from a pair of midfielders in this squad in a while. So just wanted to say, shout out to those guys.
Well, I'm really hoping the Hunts don't sell anybody right now, because we have a team that's finally coming together, with Musa solidifying himself up there. Kaique, like, in the midfield, having some of his best performances. Like, we need these guys to continue to mesh and just hold strong.
He had the assist. Kaique had the assist on the Sarver goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody seems to mention. I mean, that was such a sweetly timed pass. I mean, I'm not even surprised. Kaique has slowly just upped his game, and now you're starting to see that he's got a high ceiling, and we don't know where that ceiling is.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Delgado is an interesting twist. It's just another, and whether or not Delgado is just a guy who's going to be a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, and you can just drop him into different positions over the course of the season, and that's his role. Because we've seen him play a good game, and then the next game he gets the start and he kind of looks a little lost, or he just doesn't.
I agree, but for a player like that, striker is probably where you want him. Because I mean, let's face it, you don't want your midfielders disappearing. Your strikers can have quiet games so as long as they convert the chance they do get. And by the way, Delgado almost had a second goal in that match. If it wasn't for a great save, he had a second chance that he should have had 2 goals in that game.
Yeah. Well, what do you all think about this goalkeeping battle? I mean, this is the conversation I don't think we expected. We thought Collodi was really going to come in and just show why, reward FC Dallas's trust in him, and it just hasn't been. Not that he's been awful in every match or anything like this, but especially Wednesday night, it was not his best moments. He's got to be better, and he's probably some other moments that he's got to be better. Did Sarver do enough to supplant him, you think? Is Quill, we hear he's a kind of a superstitious guy. He may, he's going to roll with things if it doesn't, if it's not broken. I think that'll be one of the things we'll be watching for this weekend as they travel to Colorado. Chris, what's your thoughts? Did Collodi lose his starting job?
I don't think so. I obviously Quill has shown, and it's been noted that he's extremely superstitious with these sort of things. I just don't think. I think he'll realize the precedent that sets with a guy like Collodi if you end up benching him so early into the season after one performance that was good, great, huge PK save. I mean, arguably the reason why you come away with the win. But I still think Collodi's the better keeper. He's had more time to prepare. I love getting Surratt opportunities to play during the season, but I just don't see it happening yet. But Quill's got all the answers, and he's got the the jujus, I'll call it. So whatever he says at this point, I'll ride with. But we'll see.
Yeah. Fun little side note, by the way, folks. This showed up on Blue Sky. Shared it with the chat, but 1996 NY Designs has designed a custom brick character, Sam Sarver, complete with Modelo accessory. I'll post a link. Look him up. He has a shop on Etsy. He has a lot of cool little soccer bricks there for every MLS team. A lot of MLS teams and stuff. Just fun. I'm gonna order one once they're available. He said it'll be up there soon. Fun stuff. Gotta remember these seasons and these moments. Our buddy Luke here, Sarah had the PK save. I look rough most of the time defending between the sticks parts of that match, not commanding enough in the box. And he certainly has a lot of MLS starts under his belt, a lot of experience with a pretty bad Montreal team. So it was hard to sort of judge, is this guy, really just needing a more competent defense in front of him, or is he also just, he's a decent keeper. He's a nice guy to have on the roster, making more money than Collodi right now, according to the salary information. So it's just a storyline we got to watch.
I will come to Saras. I come to rescue him because everything you said, he did that against the number one team in the league in their own backyard. That says, hey, I need to start the next match. And I'm sorry, that's just the way this goes. I love Collodi. I think Collodi is an excellent starter, but you can't open the door for a talented backup, because as a manager, you got to ride the hot hand, and it doesn't get any hotter than beating San Jose in San Jose and saving a PK that ensured that you got the 3 points and not a draw. So, I think you guys are right. Collodi should be the starter, but you got to ride the hot hand, and Collodi opened the door for this competition, and if we have a battle of keepers, so be it. I mean, losing, getting benched for losing to Vancouver. I mean, a bad performance against a really, really good team that keepers keep having bad performances against. So I'm just saying, it's a great dilemma to have. I'm not picking a winner. I'm just saying I'm going to support each one, and But Soroy here, he deserves the next start.
Well,
good.
And
well,
one point on that too, you could look at this next game. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say this next game is kind of a good opportunity where you say you're playing Colorado, hasn't had the best of seasons. If you're Quill, do you say this is a good opportunity to reintroduce Collodi back into the spot and say, hey, let's get some more confidence underneath you. I believe in you. Or do you say, hey, let's give Sarah another chance? Jose is saying, do you ride the hot hand? Give him an opportunity that, can he double this? Can he show that he is capable of getting some solid saves and looking commanding in net? But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Quill ends up going with. If I had to predict, I would think he goes back to Collodi, but it will not surprise me in the slightest if Sarah gets another start.
Yeah, and this is the kind of game where maybe you you give Sarver a start on the road at Colorado where he can run a bit, but he would also be a great person off the bench in this one too. It'll be just, this is the kind of thing where you got to think about Musa's health and his legs ahead of the World Cup, but you also want to take advantage of Colorado's not been in their best form lately. You got to look at getting points on the road in Colorado. It's always a tough place to play because of the altitude. So a lot of little storylines to watch to see how Quill wants to rotate guys, or just to leave it all out there with the week of practice to get those points before it's a long break.
So I'm going to jump in here and defend Colorado and say they're a dangerous team. This is a team that has won 2 games by a score of 4-1 and stomped the crap out of Houston 6-2. They're just inconsistent, but they're very dangerous. Don't sleep on them. Our keeper's going to have to be on his game in Colorado because Colorado is streaky. They have capable scorers. They got Navarro. They got Aronson? Is that who their number 10 is?
Aronson. Yep.
They got that Yappy kid. I mean, they can score in bunches, and FC Dallas has shown that they can fall asleep for a couple of minutes and give up multiple goals out of the blue. So it's a very, very, very tricky opponent because they've shown they can light you up. Colorado will press. They will try to basically do what FC Dallas tries to do to everybody else. So it's a game that we should definitely not sleep on Colorado.
Okay. Good preview. We'll come back around to that. Now let's go ahead and jump over and talk about North Texas with a massive win 5-1 at home over Sporting Kansas City 2. Here's some highlights here from that they just posted on social media.
We're underway here in Arlington, Texas.
One, two, three,
These turns, strikes, and scores. Edounis, his 7th of the season. The sidestep, the strike, the redirect is in. Natty James, Natty with the Hattie. He's done it again. Space to hit it, and a big save by Thompson. A resounding result for North Texas.
Good stuff. 5-1, big time victory. Hat trick from Natty James. Fun fact: Natty James has scored all of his goals against Sporting Kansas City too. Can he play them every week? That's the question. He'd be Golden Boot for sure, but kind of an interesting thing there. Nice with this 7th. Good moment for him. Brooks Thompson in goal. Nice to see him. Could tell that Gall is still giving guys opportunities, trying to get this team kind of in that place where they need to be, but 2nd win in a row after some dismal results just a few weeks back. So, Chris, your thoughts on this win for North Texas?
Yeah, no, first off, have to say shout out Jose with calling the win for North Texas. Huge win too, big stomp from them. So just need to give a little quick shout out on that. But I was super pleased with the performance. SKC too, we've talked a lot about them not being a super great team, but the last time they played them at home, took them to a shootout and then barely won. So to come out, win 5-1, Natty with that, the Hattie, that's a huge moment for him. And I mean, what can we say, right? Like Nice has just been so good this season. He had a goal, 3 assists. I really just feel like he is the catalyst for this offense, for this team. When he shows up, they just play better. They look better. I was happy to see Nick Simmons get some minutes too, because He's one of those guys, in my opinion, when he plays up top, it's just a noticeable difference when he's not there in the lineup, kind of like a Caleb Swan was. So yeah, just super pleased with the direction that the team is going, rebounding from some rough past couple weeks. Still, I'm a little worried about the midfield. Don't want to harp on a negative too much, but I still think there's some just figuring out who's going to kind of be rotating in there. I know Jose mentioned last week having, Charles back there kind of as like basically a center back, but kind of floating up sometimes as a 6 is super helpful for this team, and played a little bit more forward this game. But there's a lot of changes going on, and I really appreciate it. I'm glad Daniel Barron finally got some minutes. He gets a goal, nice little step over. I want him to get him more minutes, especially if Simmons is not going to be there. But yeah, just very, very, very pleased. Beating a team that's kind of struggling, you beat them bad. That's what you have to do in this league. So very pleased.
Jose. Oh, you're muted again, Jose. Sorry, it's the theme of the show tonight.
I keep doing it because I'm coughing too much, so I'm trying to mute myself as much as I can. But anyway, I mean, you got to be thrilled with the win. I said that it was going to be a 4-1 win, and that it should be. I remember the draw, but that had more to do with North Texas simply deciding that they weren't going to play that match. I mean, they came out flat in that. I remember that game. They came out so flat that they allowed them to Sporting to hang around and gain some confidence. But don't get that wrong. That was a huge upset. That was even a draw. That they even went to the PKs. So no, 5-1. Yes, that's the right score. That's where these teams are. You're seeing North Texas when it's running on all cylinders. It's a top 4 squad. The problem is there's no consistency yet. They're still trying to figure out the best lineup, and we saw inserting Charles in there has stabilized the defense. Making sure that all your attackers are available also makes a big difference. And they had a new left back starting. I can't think of his name. It starts with a V, like Vorostek or something like that. He's
no chance I can pronounce that.
Yeah, he's an academy kid, and one of the players to watch. And so yeah, he's got my attention now. I mean, you're gonna give a kid like that minutes against a weak team. So, but still, that's saying a lot. We got some new faces, and maybe that's all this team just needed. Just needed some rotation to, get everybody fired up and say, hey, we may be talented, but just because you're talented, if you're not, performing, you're not going to start. So I'm very happy to have seen a lot of rotation in from the previous, win. So it is good. It's trending in the right direction. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's all we can ask for from this team, just to keep getting better and peak at the right time. And get into the postseason, peak at the right time. We see they have attackers. We know this team has talent, and Gall is trying to figure it out and get the right guys in place and give guys opportunity to show what they can do. So yeah, 2 wins in a row, really positive, because we've seen this team just be up and down, just not consistent as well. But they're going to have this summer plenty of chances to make that case and get some road points here and there and build on this. So I like these attackers. I think I think we're seeing the blueprint that FC Dallas is when we're like, hey, we're going to draft some guys, give them an opportunity with North Texas, but we're also going to go out and try to find interesting talent that might need a year or 2 of development in our system that might fit and become something, just like a Sam Sarver. But you can kind of see the glimmers of that in Edu Neese and Natty James. Of course, they've got to continue to grow and improve and show that they can contribute at the next level. So
also they're international players, so they kind of have more. They have to show more. It's not like Sarver who doesn't take up an international roster spot. someone like that can make a smooth transition. But Nice and some of the other players that are trying to get noticed by the senior squad, it's gonna take a little bit more, a little more consistency than what we're seeing, because they can't just, we'd have to have an international player injured or something. I don't know. I don't want that. But yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I think we're seeing that. We'll start seeing this from North Texas more. You'll start seeing FC Dallas drafting players that drop to the later rounds because they're internationals. Why not give them a shot in North Texas? And maybe then you'll judge if they're worthy of taking up an international spot for you eventually. And we got a couple players that are showing that they are headed in that direction.
Well, lots of other news that we could get into. I mean, I need to transition because I got a band concert this evening for my son. It's that time of year. But, we could talk about Nico Estevez getting the boot from Austin FC.
Why'd he have to leave?
Yeah. I know he posted a nice a little comment. I mean, he is a class guy. I'll just say that every time I talk to him. Just positive guy. I always enjoyed talking soccer. Always, really pleasant just to connect with. You could tell. I think he is a good human being. But sometimes, hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And of course, their general manager, I think, is also out as part of that. So quite a turn of events there. Just so many things. But according to the World Cup, I'm glad you brought it up, Jose, because it was another thing. I mean, FC Dallas has potentially 3 players in the mix for the World Cup. Of course, Herman Johansson is sort of a reserve, a potential if someone gets injured in the Sweden squad, that he could get called in, and we'll be practicing with them as they get ready for the World Cup. But Petar Musa and Dietzen, of course, so give us an extra reason as FC Dallas fans to kind of pay attention to results, and it's unpredictable. I know we're sort of we have this foregone conclusion that like Musa is going to get sold, and the form he's definitely going to have some interest. But there's no guarantee that Croatia makes a deep run, right? There's no guarantee that Croatia puts it all together, and so you never know what's going to happen. But hopefully we're just a couple weeks away before things really start heating up. So a lot to watch for there. But let's go ahead and let's close out the show with some match predictions. Let me pull them up. I know FC Dallas is going to go on the road to Colorado. We've already mentioned that, and Jose, you said don't sleep on Colorado.
That's correct.
For North Texas, they'll be playing this weekend. San Jose, SKC, Earthquakes 2 at home. Should be an interesting matchup there as well. So let's start there with North Texas against the Quakes 2. And what's your feelings on this one? I think you got to win your home games. I mean, that goes without being asked. But Chris, how do you think North Texas is going to stack up against the Quakes 2?
So if you look at the standings, San Jose's 1 spot above North Texas. Unfortunately, though, they have one of the best goal differentials in the entire MLS Next Pro. When they beat teams, they stomp them. If they draw or tie, it's always a close game. So just with the form that North Texas has been in recently, it is a home game. I'm going to go 1-1 draw, unfortunately. I want to say this is going to be a win, but I think it's just going to be a really close game. I think we'll see some of the starters down again. I think Simmons will be down. I think be interesting to see if Thompson is back down again. I don't know if you heard anything about Montoya, but wasn't on the bench either last week. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'm going 1-1 draw.
I got to go with a 2-1 win for North Texas. It is a home game. Yes, San Jose is tough, um, but they're you know they're like a 500 squad on the road, which is tough. But I think North Texas will have enough. I think North Texas is finding their groove. It's going to be a close match. It will be a tough match, but the home form will get North Texas through. 2-1 win, hard earned win.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 as well. I mean, I hear you. I think this could be a trap game. I think North Texas could come in and we've seen these young teams do it before, where they think, oh, we're going to stay in this form and not really go out and battle for it and win it. So, but I think they've got enough. I think there's enough positives here and growth from this team that they should be able to lock things down. But it'll be tight, and the Quakes are going to have a chance to equalize. So it'll go down to the wire. But North Texas puts together a pretty solid defensive performance, which will, continue to boost them up the table. All right, closing out the show, FC Dallas at Colorado. Jose, you already said we're not sleeping on this team. Good coach, always a tough place to play. This is the one I'm happy with a draw. If FC Dallas goes on the road, no one gets keys, no one gets injured. Don't let any of your key guys get injured, so you might want to rotate a little bit in this or just give some guys some minutes. But I love this as a chance for, like a 1-1 result where they go up, you find a goal from Musa, you take him out, let some other kids run and look for a chance, but give up a goal, but otherwise you take the point on the road and you're happy before with the road point before the World Cup break. Jose, what do you think?
I'm going to go 3-2 FC Dallas. The reason I'm picking a win is that this is the 5th week that Colorado will have played 2 games. They have played a midweek game. As they're playing tonight, actually, their match hasn't even started yet. It won't start for another hour or so. They're in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup, and they're playing San Jose. So they've played 3 other games midweek and immediately went on to lose every match that weekend.
Okay.
So 4 midweek games played, 4 losses following those midweek games. This would be their 5th midweek game, and I think that's going to be true to form. They have a very good starting lineup. It's their depth that's hurting them, and you're seeing that in that they have to go all out midweek because of the U.S. Open Cup, and then just don't have the legs to finish out teams a couple of days later. And that will be the difference. It's going to be the Sam Sarvers and Ibiagas and those guys coming off the bench. That'll be the big difference in a 3-2 win for FC Dallas.
Chris, what do you think?
I'm glad Jose mentioned it, because that is a tough schedule for anybody to play, much less a team that, as Jose mentioned, quarterfinal of the U.S. Open Cup. Not that any team's throwing in the season already. However, you look at the recent run of form, I think they've lost 4 out of their last 6 or something like that, with 1 draw in the mix. They're probably competing for this U.S. Open Cup. Like, they're probably saying, we want to win some silverware. Like, we want this to be a big thing for us. They're going to try really hard at San Jose. They're a great team. And then I think that's just, Jose's mentioned it, you come back home and you're going to play a team that had a whole week off. It's kind of been feeling some good vibes just from Sammy Sarver blowing up on social media and just some great recent run of form. I've got a 2-0 win. And I'm going a step further. I've got Samuel Sarver with another goal. 4 in his last 5.
Right.
Huge prediction.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe this time he'll drink a Coors Light, to delight the crowd. I don't know.
Sponsorship out the window immediately.
I mean, that's still my it is my story of Sarver at that last game last year, the MLS Next Pro, when against LAFC 2, that Sarver went off, scored like 4 goals, got them into the playoffs, and and the away fans, the little supporter, I mean, not the way I say the home fans, the supporter section who were making a lot of noise, who were singing and drumming throughout, came over and just had to talk to him and had to say hi and had to get a photo with him. I think that's the blessing of Sam Sarver when, you know, he starts winning fans for your club, because you're like, I can't hate this guy. This guy is too much fun. Maybe we'll see. We'll have one of those moments up there in Colorado. Well, good. Well, we'll leave it there. Of course, appreciate everyone. Appreciate the comments and appreciate the views and the listenings on podcasts. Of course, find us wherever you find podcasts. Post the audio tomorrow at afterburn.soccer. Chris, Jose, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time. I know we'll probably do a World Cup preview next week. All right. Yeah. We'll after Colorado match, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
North Texas has 2 games still after FC Dallas plays this last game. North Texas will actually play 2 more games after that. So I'm curious to see if Dallas will send any players down to play against. I think the first team is St. Louis, which is the best team in MLS Next Pro. So I'm curious to see if any players like Sarver or some of those guys get sent down there for minutes.
Yeah. Good thing to watch for, yeah, because we'll keep seeing some North Texas action. And, of course, we're going to be, during the World Cup break, I'll be out of the country for a bit, so we'll figure out when we're going to do our shows and how we can work it all out. But we'll have plenty of soccer to enjoy. Okay, appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, guys. Good night.
See you later.
All right, let me go and get ready.